Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. A Florida man allegedly confessed to stabbing his mother because he says she never pushed him to be a man. And in this incident, which took place in Kissimmee, Florida, 21-year-old Matthew Sisley is alleged to have fatally stabbed his mother at their Kissimmee, Florida home and wound up cutting up his sister's hands as she tried to intervene in the attack. Now, in the aftermath of this incident, your Matthew Sisley alleged that he would confess to the murder of his mother and said in the sheriff's office he allegedly would do it again. Now, the police are seeing this as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of your Matthew Sisley's alleged behavior, it fits the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And it looks like to me that your Matthew Sisley was participating in behavior I talk about in The Man Crisis in the chapters about beta male anger and beta male rage. And in most cases, your beta males become extremely angry because they grow up in homes with female authority figures like single mothers. And as they grow up in these homes with these female authority figures, they become angry because they feel like they have no power or control in their lives. And because they feel like they have no power or control over anything, that anger that they have about being emasculated winds up becoming a rage that they start to seethe in. And many of these men seethe in this rage for decades and extended periods of time until they wind up exploding in this rage and participating in extreme spectrum of violent behaviors. And in the case of Matthew Sisley, he was possibly seething in this rage as he was growing up in that single mother household, wondering how he could go out here and be a man. But the reason why he could not be a man is not because his mother didn't push him to be a man. The real reason why he never knew how to become a man was because he did not have his father in his life. Now, over the last 60 years, as the feminist movement became the culture of America, many of these feminists told women that they could raise a boy to be a man. However, when we look at the case of Matthew Sisley, it proves that a woman cannot raise a boy to be a man. Yes, she can raise a boy to be a beta male, but that beta male will not know how to function in the real world because the world works completely different for men than it does for women. And the expectations of men and in the real world are completely different than those of women. So if you go out here and raise a boy in a single mother household, what will happen is you will raise a male who will grow up frustrated and angry because he's learned female life skills and female survival skills. However, the way a woman survives in the world is completely different than the way a man survives in the world. Now, when a boy grows up in a female-headed household, he is expecting the world to cater to him, and he's expecting the world to go out here and give him everything because that's the way the world goes out here and treats women. When a woman goes out in the world, she is looking for a man to provide for her needs, and she usually finds men, depending on how attractive she is. She can find male suitors who will go out here and look to provide for her because in her role as helpmeet in God's natural order, she is the person who is looking for the help of another man. But when it comes down to boys who grow up in single mother households, they're looking for the world to go out there and meet their needs when in actuality, it's a man's job to go out here as God's head and God's steward, to go out here and lead and go out here and build something on his own. And this is something that possibly your Matthew Sisley never learned. And this is why he was frustrated, because he was expecting his mother to push him to be a man. No, a mother cannot go out here and push you to be a man. No, a father has to teach you how to be a man. It is the father's job to go out here and teach a boy about the world. It's a father's job to teach him how to navigate the world. It's a father's job to teach him male life skills and male survival skills, and teach him how to do things like be able to learn how to have a work ethic, learn how to socialize and network and connect with others who will help them be able to go out here and build business connections or find contact leads for jobs. It is a father's job to teach a boy what he needs to, in order to make a way for himself in the world. That is the job of a father. A father's job is to go out here and teach a boy the skills he needs to go out here and be a man. And these skills can only be taught by a man to another man. And this is where your Matthew Sisley became extremely frustrated about his life situation. He became extremely angry about his situation because he was learning about manhood from a woman. And as he learned manhood from a woman, what happened was he did not know how to function as a man, and he didn't know how to navigate the world as a man. And as he was trying to go out here and try to apply female life skills to a world of men, he wound up falling apart, possibly because he became more and more frustrated, more and more angry, felt more and more powerless. And as he was feeling emasculated and feeling frustrated about having no power, this is where your Matthew Sisley wound up exploding in this rage and wound up murdering his mother. Now, this is what beta males do, because when beta males feel powerless, they look at the person who has all of the power and they want to take out their anger on that person. And that's what your Matthew Sisley looks like he allegedly did. He was so frustrated about his mother basically having control of the home, having control of the money, having control of the resources. And this is what led to him exploding in this rage. And his sister saw him exploding in this rage and tried to stop him. And then after he wound up stabbing up his mother, he then looked like they found him and then arrested him. And he was so angry at his mother that he basically confessed to this crime. And this is something what beta males do, because when they're angry, it's just like a woman. They will be indignant about the anger that they have, and they'll explode in the rage, admit to doing it, and then saying that they'll do it again, getting up in their feelings about their anger, and then they won't feel the regret later on until they wind up in prison and then really have to think about what they have done. Because what your Matthew Sisley allegedly did, this is a heinous crime, because murdering your mother, I mean, it's just one of the most evil things you could ever think of, taking the woman who brought you into this world out of it. And it takes a lot of rage to go out here and do something like this. But a lot of these guys, they do this because, again, they feel like they have no place in the world. They can't function in the world. And they want to go out here and take out their anger on the person who they thought was the one who was supposed to teach them about the world. But the whole thing is, your Matthew Sisley, he has his anger at his mother, but the person who could push him to be a man or teach him to be a man was his father. And the thing is, since his father wasn't there, he took out his anger on his mother. And that's the saddest part about this situation, because I believe once this guy winds up in prison with Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, and Big Dave, and they're trading him for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light tea, 6-pack Oreo cookies, Kit Kat candy bars, and all other parts of the commissary, your Matthew Sisley, it's going to really dawn on him the evil act he participated in, because he took the one person out of this world that loved him the most. He took the one person who loved him out of this world, and he's going to be feeling the lament of all of that, because there's nothing worse than losing your mother. And again, killing your mother is one of the worst things a man could do. But a lot of these beta males, they do this because they're angry at their mothers for raising them in single mother households, never putting them around male figures, never letting them learn about the world of men and male authority, never teaching them about manhood or masculinity. No, after 60 years of feminism, men like Matthew Sisley, they grew up in a narrative where they were told, oh, a woman can raise a boy to be a man. But when I look at the case of Matthew Sisley, all I see is a woman raising a boy to become a man in crisis. Now, if you want to learn more about how your males, like your Matthew Sisley, grow up to become dysfunctional and become men in crisis capable of participating in extreme acts of violence like this, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis on Smashwords, the iBook store, and Google Play. And this book will teach you why so many males, like a Matthew Sisley, are out here exploding in rage, why so many men are frustrated and falling apart, and why so many men out here are struggling to be able to function in the world. I go in depth on all of the issues leading up to a boy growing up to become a man in crisis, like the one I featured in this video. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females like Instagram models and e-girls in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Get your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace in paperback and Kindle today.